All right, good evening. Welcome to RC Conference Live. Tonight we have Sean from Sean's RC Adventure. And
What's up, everybody? Mine's still not. Mine's still just waiting for JHM RC.
There we go. Got mine. I just put it on mute. so welcome everybody. Tonight we got Sean with Sean's RC Adventure. We're going to be asking some questions. So if you have questions, pop them up in the chat. I'll try to catch them. I don't believe Gabe is going to be with us tonight, maybe in the chat. He has some stuff with work, so he was going to try to get in the chat. So it'll be me and Sean.
He is split out as usual.
Yep.
His girlfriend is holding his RCs hostage.
So Green Frog, I see you were in the chat. Kevin Gibbs, Guru, Queen Croc, Christian's RC, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And we wanted to start tonight off with just sort of recognizing and, I guess paying tribute to Steve O.D., who did pass away this past week. I myself didn't really know him all that well. I do know that Sean knew him pretty good, I believe. And I was going to let Sean say a couple things. I'm going to post there is a GoFundMe that's been created to help cover funeral costs. I'm going to put that in the chat if anybody would like to donate, by all means, to help out. And Sean, I'll let you say a few words.
Yeah, it was a shock to us all that Steve passed. We were all hoping and praying that he was getting better, and we knew he came home and stuff, but we weren't really expecting him to pass. But a few days before, we heard he was getting put in a hospice, but we were going to do the hospice from home. So we were still all hopeful, and then I got the phone call Monday evening, I think it was, Monday evening or Tuesday, on my way home from work, to say he passed away. It was just a shock that I think a lot of people in the RC community, he reached a lot of people. Like even today, Claire's RC was live, and she's from England, her and Ian. On their live, they posted Steve O.D.'s GoFundMe as well, and then they donated any proceeds today that was donated to them. They actually donated to the Steve O.D. fund as well, which is amazing. Like the amount of people. The amount of people that I touched in this RC community, I personally, he helped me out a lot, like with the RCs and just getting in. Like he was one of the first live chats I ever went on, and he just welcomed me in and made me feel welcome. I had a YouTube channel for years. I never posted any videos, never done anything, and I always just had it to comment on people's videos and everything. And I was just chatting to Steve-O in one of his chats, and he sent me an email and invited me in, and the rest is history. Like I just went on, and he's just done so much for the community in RCs. Like a lot of people don't realize Tamiya Tuesday was actually started by Steve O.D.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so like all the Tamiya Tuesday builds, he used to put out a build, and then like a lot of people. He would say what truck they're building and how many weeks to build. And there was actually a lot of people got involved. They would all go out and buy the same Tamiya, the same one. And then at the end of the build, Steve-O would post photos of each person's truck and each one. And then people would all vote on like,
that's cool.
This. It was really cool and really awesome. And I really hope somebody, because me personally and Tamiya's, like the 114th side of Tamiya, I love, and the Clodbuster side I love, but the rest of Tamiya is just like, you may as well go to Radio Shack and buy it for it.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally, but I really hope that somewhere out there somebody actually picks up Tamiya Tuesday and runs with it and keeps it going in the spirit of Steve-O. He's just so many people he done stuff for, and like I'm not asked for a thing in return. Like never done anything. Like I even helped him out with his Zooms and everything. Like I give him my account, everything, just so that he could do the lives and we could do the lives together and everything. Because I just enjoy his Friday nights, and for the longest time, the Friday nights haven't been the same without Steve-O, you know.
Yeah.
And I know Tank done one in memory of him last night. Tank done a show for it. And I was thinking of changing my Sunday night show to Friday nights instead too. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But he's definitely a big, huge miss in the RC community. You know. All our prayers and thoughts are with his family. You know, and just, I know they had a nice private ceremony for him. And I just like. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to believe that he's gone because, like, even one of Javier's, one of the Operation 11 Charlie shows, like, he even came on from the hospital bed. Like, he was on talking to us from the hospital. And even a couple of times when he got home, he was on talking to us as well. It really is like a lot of. There's not many people in the RC community that don't know who Steve-O-D was. You know, all over, like England, America, everywhere. Like, you know, just
definitely. Yeah, definitely prayers and thoughts to his family through this time.
Yeah.
So there is a GoFundMe. I think it's 11 Charlie has it open till I think Tuesday, I believe, this coming week. So if you're able to, give by all means. I see Javier in the chat. Welcome. KB, welcome. Hello, RC, welcome. And we do have.
I'm not sure about the StreamYard or anything, but can you GoFundMe if you post it? Can you pin that?
Let's see. It's a good question.
I'm not sure how StreamYard works or anything, like, you know, but
let me.
I know a lot of times you can just pin that comment, like, you know.
I pinned it through YouTube.
There you go. Yes, that's perfect. So it's, if anybody comes in, guys, that's the link to Steve-O-D's GoFundMe. As I said, even Claire's RC today, and Claire's RC in England, she donated all. With anybody, like even with anybody donated to her channel today, she's actually donated to the Steve-O-D fund as well, which is an amazing thing. Like that he's touched so many people. Like, you know, because even Pat's RC channel there, Pat would come on some Friday nights, just get in the chat and show Claire and stuff, and it's like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning with them guys, but they come in just to say hi to Steve-O, you know. It's amazing what he did with the RC community. He definitely will be sorting this, that's for sure.
Definitely. So, Shade Tree RC, welcome. Jean Pierre, welcome.
So, on that note, everybody that's in the chat, thank you very much for stopping by. JMH running this show as usual because Spicer Boy's girlfriend kidnapped. This time she didn't kidnap the poncho. She found the key to the RC room, which is getting them with all the RCs. They don't come in this time. I'm getting a new pair of Louis Vuittons. So Spicer Boy is not presently with us, making the excuse that he has to work, but we all know the real story.
Oh, nice. So tonight we do have we're interviewing Sean here with Sean's RC Adventure. So I'm gonna start into the questions. And so, what do you do for a living outside of YouTube?
Outside of YouTube, I'm actually a construction superintendent. So I run high rises in Manhattan. Nice. I actually posted a picture on Instagram there on Friday, I think, or Thursday, I think it was. Just another typical day at the office. And that was like the crane was booming stuff up onto one of our roofs. So, you know.
Nice. Okay. How long you been doing that?
Since 2001 or something.
Okay, cool.
So I haven't physically been on the tools since 2001. It's funny because about a year or two ago, I met one of my old bosses at the driving range. And we shook hands, and he was like, "Oh my God, there's no calluses in your hands, McSherry. We got to get you back to work." I was laughing. I was like, so that's what I do outside of YouTube. You know?
Nice. So I can't quite remember the name of it, but so one of the questions come up. Somebody I think actually told us to ask this. What's your drink of choice?
What's my drink of choice?
Yes.
It used to, now it's just Heineken Light is what I would drink, but it used to be tequila, Hennessy, and Red Bull all
Wow.
together. It's like it's nice. It's like drinking wine now. It's like it's really dangerous because you don't realize you're drinking Hennessy and tequila because the Red Bull, whatever way the Red Bull mixes with them, it's like drinking wine. And then, but when you walk outside and the fresh air hits you, boom, you knew what you were drinking. Like,
All right, nice. So what other hobbies outside of RC do you have?
golfing really. That's about it.
Golfing? Okay, that's interesting. Now,
Guys,
do you play? Do you just do like driving range type stuff, or do you like actually play? You know,
well, lately I've only probably had what 2 rounds in the last year and a half or something, but it was a part of my high school sport. So I played golf since high school, and it's really like so. I used to have a nice handicap, but now golf is a golf is the sort of thing where you have to be out playing a lot and do a
yeah,
lot in order for it to be any use, like because a lot of people laugh because I'm like the Happy Gilmore for golf. Like I, my friends all figured out is like if you stand on the tee box and be really quiet, dude, I can't hit a ball for jack shit. But if there's noise and people talking and everything, I'm just no problem. Because a lot of people don't realize that golf's played in an 8-inch course, like the distance between ear to ear, and if you get in your own head in golf, forget
yeah.
about it. You're done, Because I remember even the last time I went home, we went to one of my local golf courses at home,
Mhm.
and there was a big queue waiting for the tee box. So everybody was like dead silent when everybody's teeing off. So I get up there, and everybody was so quiet. And so I just started talking like randomly to people that I didn't even know. Like I took my swing and hit the ball, and next minute somebody was like, "For a little bastard that never shuts up, he can fairly hit a golf ball." I just laughing like walking off.
Nice. Welcome, Shannon.
Yeah,
Um,
well, everyone.
I'm not much of a golfer. I do like to go to like Top Golf and just do the driving.
Top
Um,
golf is fun. Like that's like 10-pin ball in a golf. Sort of like.
yeah, go there and have a drink, eat some food, have some laughs with friends. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I've never really played a true
Yeah, the reason I like going to Top Golf is a lot of times people look at me and they look and they're like, "Oh, this guy wouldn't know how to swing a club." So like, so for the first couple of ones, I'll just spread balls all over the place.
yeah.
So I start sucking the people in, and we start getting bets going. Then the next thing you're just dropping them in, like, and they're like, "Hang on, wait, where's this coming from?"
Right. Nice.
Yeah, that's why I like Top Golf. Brian Taff walking in. So, guys, if any of you don't know Brian Taff, RC Pit Products, go check him out. It's some real amazing stuff.
Yep.
Really good tools, everything. So, go check him out.
Guru, welcome. I thought I said it earlier. I'm sorry. Brian, welcome.
Welcome, Guru. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, what was your first RC?
Believe it or believe it not, it was actually a Tamiya.
Tamiya? Okay.
Yeah, it was actually a Grasshopper. It was my first
Grasshopper,
car.
nice.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think Tamiya's actually started a lot of people in the RC, but then like they just didn't advance. They stayed like this is what we got in the 80s. This is what we still got now. Like take this thing for instance. This thing is still all Phillips head screws. Like who still uses Phillips head screws? Like
Right.
Like, yeah.
I actually hate that. Like I hate like my budget drag build, because I bought it used as just a basher. As I'm working on it, I'm finding the guy had it before me is throwing different screws to replace things over the years. So I run into some Phillips head screws, and I'm like, seriously, like. So I've been trying to replace those.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like even the that's the first G-made Komodo, and that's the second Komodo, and even G-made learned the difference. Like G-made chain. The first one is all Phillips head screws.
Yeah.
And the second one is all Allen keys.
Kurt's welcome.
The first was a grasshopper too. I think a lot of people started out with Tamiyas and like, yes, that's how everybody got into the hobby.
So would you consider that Tamiya your first hobby grade RC?
Yeah, definitely was.
Okay.
Definitely was. Because before that, it was all like, I guess what's the equivalent over here? The equivalent probably would have been Radio Shack stuff.
Yeah, I had a bunch of that.
That would have been it before the grasshopper, really. Yeah.
Yeah. So out of your collection that you currently have, what is your favorite RC?
Believe it or believe it not, probably that D110. That Boom Racing D110. I just love driving that thing. Even though the Boom Racing, the BRX01 is really awesome, but that D110, man, I don't know, it's just something about it, the way it drives, like, and the way it moves. Boom Racing really knew how to put rigs together, really knew how to build rigs.
Nice. And so we all know that you're famous for running 2 RCs off of a remote. What made you do that? Like, what got you the idea to try to do that?
Well, I always used to watch filming, so I would always be driving one RC and then like setting the controller and picking up the other controller and driving the other RC. So you're always bringing 2 controllers, 2 RCs, and you were always doing it anyway. So then when I figured out that you can actually use one of these and these Spectrum receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So once you use these, I can have one truck on this stick completely independent, and then one truck on this stick completely independent. So you can have both trucks when you're out driving. So that one would be completely independent here, one. And then the reason for this thing that looks like a toilet bowl on the back line, that's where, so let me show you. So this is how you would film in as well. So you would actually put your selfie stick in through here. This is actually just a thing from Home Depot, the whole brooms. So your selfie stick will actually go right in there as well.
Nice.
So I designed, I just got that. That's actually from the Home Depot for holding brooms. So then when I'm driving, I can still be filming. And I can extend the selfie stick out to get even lower down as well.
So I've obviously, I've seen you driving, the 2 RCs at once, at Stone Mountain earlier this year, and you're pretty good at it. How long did it take you to, let's say, master, but get comfortable with doing it? Because I'm sure it's got to be a little different, trying to train 2 thumbs to do 2 different things almost in a way.
It took a few months before I started getting really comfortable with it and doing it. Like the biggest problem I used to have, I'd be driving one, and when you used to drive one all the time, you'd be concentrating on one truck. So then I'd be concentrating on that truck and not realizing that I'm still driving the other truck. And I'd be concentrating this to take a line to come off something, and the next minute I would just hear, Christ. I'll be like, oh, man, because I completely forgot about the other.
Yeah, okay, I can see that definitely, because you're right. You're so used to concentrating on one vehicle.
Yeah.
Normally, I could definitely see that being. RC Master, welcome.
RC Master, welcome in.
But you've done a really good job with it, from what I've seen in driving too. That's definitely pretty cool. Definitely see the benefit for videos. Let's see. Hello RC said never 2 on 1 remote, but have done 2 on 2 remotes and filmed at the same time. Chin on the wheel. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't fun.
Yeah, that's it. Like I would encourage more people to try it, if they can, because like one thing I really love about doing it is like a lot of people do comparison videos,
Mm-hmm.
So they film one RC, then they go get another RC, film the same RC, but you're never getting the same lines right. You're never getting the
Very
same,
hard, yeah.
like yeah. So like when I'm comparing them, like honestly, that's why this $300 Komodo actually made me get rid of my Vanquish CS410 Pro. The two of them, when you're driving the two of them on the sticks, you're driving both of them, same line, same time, doing everything. Like I put the two of them, just testing it out of the box, box to box. Not not doing like most people do with the Vanquish, like upgrading all the wheels, the tires, the shocks. Like I took out of the box Jimmy Komodo and out of the box PS410 Pro. I built both of the kits. I put the same electronics, same servo, same motor in both of them. So it's complete dead on comparison. The tires and wheels that came out of the box, the tires and wheels, everything. And um, the Komodo is way superior when it comes to it. Like, so for my terrain, so the Vanquish PS410 is the Vanquish PS410 Pro is the best side hilling vehicle around, no doubt about it. But who just goes out the side hill? And RC Max Master, you're actually wrong. If you go to my channel, I actually have a video where I was driving 3 Broncos, and then I have a video where I was driving 4 Broncos.
Oh, wow, nice. I don't think I've seen that. I might have to go check that out.
So to do that, that took a lot of figuring out and a lot of going because so one stick would operate 2 trucks, the other stick would operate 2 trucks, but in order for them to turn the same way, like I couldn't figure out at the start. Like if I turn one would turn this way and the other would turn that way. So the two of them wouldn't. So it took me a while to figure out that you actually had to put servo reversers on one. So you reverse the servo so the two of them would actually mirror each other. So I actually have videos out there where I was driving 3 Broncos and 4 Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go check that out. I hadn't seen that.
That takes a lot of mind. Like
I can bet.
Yeah, that's just.
And you probably got to set the trucks up, like sort of space them just right too, like the two that are following each other. Like
yeah. So you do, but I enjoy doing 2 of them like this. So 2 of them I'm comfortable, no problem doing. Like 4 gets a bit crazy. Like,
I can only imagine.
It makes for a good video when there's one person, one camera, with 4 trucks driving. Like So.
RC Master says he wants a link.
Just go into my channel and look it up. Hold on. I'll tell you what, hold on. Let me go to my channel. Let me close that chat down a minute. Let me see. I'll go to my channel a minute. And let me see if I have it in the playlist. Yeah.
I'm going to try to see if I can get that too.
Lives, 800 bills, and all. I don't have it on my playlist. So let me just see.
Do you remember what it's titled?
No, I don't. Like so. Okay, I'll just flick through. Well, I can still talk and answer questions at the same time. It was a long time ago I was doing it. And it's always just me doing it. Like so.
And I know it's Stone Mountain this year when you were there. I know you let Wayne Kibler try it out.
So let me see. Copy.
I found the 3 Broncos on one controller.
Yeah, so there's one with 3 Broncos.
Found that one.
Yeah, one with 3 Broncos. So there should be one somewhere with 4.
There's this. I just posted the link for the 3 Broncos, one controller. There's that one.
Or maybe I haven't filmed before yet. Maybe that's what it is. Because I also don't own 4 Broncos anymore. I don't own any more TRX4s.
I actually see you got 2 videos with the 3 Broncos, one driver. You actually have 2 videos on that.
Yeah.
So there's this one too. There's the second video with 3 Broncos on one.
Yeah, so maybe I didn't show it because I have one there with a TRX4, an SX10 2, and a D90. All me driving all on as well.
Yes, actually, I'm gonna share the screen here real quick, and I'm actually gonna show part of it. I have the one video pulled up. So let's do a full screen on this. So turn the sound on. So 3 Broncos.
Yeah, I thought I did sell them before. Like, so that's me just driving all 3 there. Like, I'm not even own 3 of them anymore.
So on this one, did you do 2 on one, obviously, and 1 on?
Yeah, two on one controller and 1 on the other. 2 on one controller and 1 on the other controller.
Yep. That's pretty cool. Definitely for video, and like that's
what I mean. Like, it's all just me. There's nobody else. And it's funny because when you're out on the trails, people are looking for the other drivers and stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, hang on a minute. Where is everybody?" Like, you know. And it's all just me going.
It would definitely cut down on the editing piece. Like if you were going to do the same thing, you know, but separately, then you would have to piece all these things together. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so it definitely does. So.
That's definitely cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I have a few. Maybe I didn't film me testing for them, but I have tested for them. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. So maybe that's a future video we'll have to wait for Sean to put out a four RCs on one remote. So that could be cool.
Yeah,
so
it's like everything though. Like the more you I've got a couple of Fly Sky 10 channels. Gonna have to try it. The Fly Sky, I'm not sure if it'll work with the Fly Sky. I know it does work with the Spectrum, and it works with the radio link. So I'm sure it will work with the Fly Sky, but it with the Fly Sky and with the Fly Sky and with the Spectrum, for sure it has to be flight receivers used. You can't use ground receivers, or it won't work. But with the radio link actually has receivers that do ground, air, and sea. So if you get them receivers, it'll work because then the frequency. But for some reason, like regular ground receivers won't work. So the Spectrum ones I use, I just have one of these. These are actually all flight receivers. And it's one thing that really annoys me because if you look at this flight receiver, there's no stupid antenna wire. There's no nothing. Like where we have a ground receiver and you've got bloody antenna wires, you're walking 5 feet away from your truck. Like, and you have this stupid antenna wire. This thing's flying in the sky.
And you got no wire, yeah.
And yet it doesn't need a friggin' antenna wire. Like, because when you're doing the builds, that antenna wire, you have to take that into consideration as well.
Yep. Absolutely. Nitro Freak, welcome.
Nitro Freak, welcome. There's 3 at once. That's what she said. Yeah.
Definitely. If money wasn't an issue, what RC would you own?
Cross RC, the Mammoth. Although some of my RCs are probably worth way more than the Mammoth right now, the money I put into them, but at the time it's just hard to pay. I think it's like $1,500 or something. I think it's hard to just pay straight out off the bat.
So he had a question about the running multiple RCs.
If one gets stuck in an obstacle, well, you're trying to get the other one to go over the obstacle. Yeah, but that's a good thing with driving them yourself, because if one gets stuck, I don't need to wait for somebody to come and help. I can actually just push with the other one as well. So I just, as long as it's stopping an obstacle, I just push it with the other one. So that's a good thing. I don't need to wait on help or anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Very nice.
Good question, RC McMaster.
It is definitely a good question.
Feeding wires to the receiver box is like one of my least favorite tasks. Dude, totally, I agree.
I think everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
So, definitely. So obviously the majority of your collection is crawlers, but I know that recently you bought a what was
SBR.
it? Yeah,
The Losi SBR. Yeah.
Yep.
Bought and sold. Didn't even put a battery in it.
Oh, you already got rid of it.
Sold already, gone.
And you didn't even run it.
Didn't even put a battery in it.
Wow. So it's safe to say then that in RC, your favorite thing is crawlers, scale crawlers.
Like I have sitting down there, like so here. This is like a unicorn on my channel. This is how little this is run. Like that's like a unicorn. That's a slash 4x4. And it's very rare this thing's on my channel, like so.
Yeah.
It's like buy some. Sometimes I want to just go out to a skate park and do like the slash 4x4 does as good as anything out there. Like it does pretty much whatever you want it to do,
Yeah.
So it does. It'll bice around the skate park all day long, and you can come back with it unless you do what I've done and I hit like a concrete wall with it one time, smashed the front with the pieces.
I have yet to bash at a skate park yet. I keep wanting to.
Yeah.
And I just haven't.
Yeah. If I just feel like having a bit of fun for a quick 10 minutes, I'll take the 4x4 to the skate park, and that's it. The crawling, and not just any crawling, like dollhouse trucks is my main.
Yeah.
And like that's why there's not a single truck left with portal axles. There's not a single truck left there.
So, guys, if you don't know, and I think most of us do know, that Sean despises portal axles.
Yeah, it's not that I despise them. Like all my Broncos were portals. All my TRX4 Defenders, they were all portals. It makes things way too easy and way too simple. Like I like going out on the rocks and actually challenging where I just can't look at the rock and be like, oh, I'm going to drive over that bump. It's like I've gone out and getting there and then, hey, you know what? I'm not going to make it that way, but if I go slightly to the right or slightly to the left, I'll still make it up to the same place where that TRX4 just went. Only I actually have to drive to get up there.
Yeah.
I don't despise them. I just like to challenge myself.
And that's understandable. I definitely like being challenged and crawling. I've tried my hand at a leaf spring setup, and I've had two so far. The first one no longer exists, and I hated that truck, to be honest. Like, I love the look of it, and I bought it built, so I can't say that it was built right, great, or anything. I don't know, but it performed horribly, honestly.
Yeah, the right setup on the leaf truck, though.
And I've seen some crawl extremely well. Yours have crawled well, and I've seen it at Stone Mountain, and I've seen others crawl really well on leaf springs. That first one I had was horrible. The one I currently have, my Jeep, actually is much better than the other one I had. It's still not great, but better. So I'm definitely more towards the class 2 piece of things without leaf springs. And I do like portals, but I will say my Trail Walker straight axle, I love that truck.
Trail Walker, and that's only 1.55 as well.
Yeah, well, I have the class 1 1.9s on it, so they're slightly bigger, but they're still the class 1 tires. Yeah. And it's I compete with it in class 1, but I love that truck. I really do. It's been impressive as far as I'm concerned. and the Ecto, which I know we've talked about that before. When I've test drove a few Ectos, and they're straight axle and they've been great.
Yeah.
So, but I love my portals at the same time though.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like LORC just said I like bison, but sometimes something breaks every time. And
Yep.
exactly like it's bison gets costly. Like unless you have a second income coming just to your RCs, like it's bison can get costly. Where crawling, a lot of times you can go out and not break anything, and
Agreed.
there's sometimes you go out and break everything apart in two trucks. Like,
Yeah.
so
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. Bashing the chances of you breaking is definitely um, extremely high, and you can go out and crawl for hours, and seems like more times than not, what happens, in my opinion, or at least what I've witnessed, is something comes loose. Not so much break, something comes loose.
yeah.
Just tighten some nuts and bolts up, and good to go.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of time it is. A lot of time it's really simple. Like Green Frog RC crawling is king. Absolutely, Green Frog 100%.
Yeah.
Green
It's
Frog
definitely
RC,
relaxing to me.
yeah. Green Frog RC is the man.
Yes, he is.
He designed. We can't see it with this camera, but my channel sticker right there. He actually designed my channel sticker. And Keegan is one of the. There's two people, Keegan and AC Froggies. I reach out to a lot, but Keegan, I'd say there's not a week goes by that we don't text each other at least once a week, something.
Extremely knowledgeable. Him
Yeah,
and AC both.
yeah. And most of the ideas I have, I run them by Green Frog first, and that's why if you ever look at my live chats, the emails that go out every week, like Keegan's name's the first name. I'm on this every week in, week out. He's so knowledgeable, and he's got a really good artistic mind as well. Like,
Yes.
so when I have some ideas, I'd run them by him too. Just that, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And it's like to shift back and forward. But I like a crawler course in his backyard. Like you would not believe. That thing is sick, man. It is sick for a backyard course.
Hot Hoop DRC, welcome.
Welcome in, welcome.
And you made the comment that Green Frog created your sticker or your logo design. I know he created the one for Tank,
Yeah.
and he created ours for RC Conference Live. Again, thank you to Green Frog for that. Very much appreciated. Fern Solo, welcome.
Fern Solo, Nacho Libre. Oh, man.
RC Master, you need a logo. You should reach out to Green Frog. He's good at it. I would recommend it.
He is really good at it. He designed a lot of stuff for people, like
Yep.
And I think he even helped Jack out with a lot of the animation stuff at the start too. Like so.
And I've been asked to, since I know Green Frog's in the chat, so he's hearing this. I've been asked. Obviously, we had Green Frog on doing a spotlight of some of his RCs, and he had a power outage issue. We do at some point in the future plan to have him back on to finish that. He can maybe spotlight some other RCs since he has a fairly large collection. So we will have him back on at some point.
It's a really impressive collection too. It's a wide span crawlers, flashers.
Yes.
You can think of it as 114 Tamiya trucks, everything.
Yeah, he does have a
discriminate. That's for sure. He's not like me, so he doesn't discriminate.
So with that leads me to a question. How many RCs do you currently have, roughly?
Currently, I sold all my Traxxas 4s and everything. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
20, okay.
So I only have 20. I'm down. I sold 60 RX4s. got rid of them all out of my collection. Even the hard body Bronco, all that gone. So.
Good evening, Gabe. I see Gabe finally joined
And
us in the chat.
I sold the SBR as well. So, Gabriel, we all know your girlfriend stole the key to the RC room. She threatened you that she's going to buy some new Louis Vuittons. So we all know the truth. The truth is out there. Put that in your conspiracy theory, Tony. The truth is out
there. So I know that you, Kevin Gibbs, Bash Your Boy, who's that guy? I know that you have some recent purchases for RCs, but do you have any in mind, future ones that you wouldn't mind sharing that you might be thinking about purchasing? Not anything that you've maybe already purchased, but
that I'm thinking of purchasing. I have a couple of mine that I'm thinking of purchasing. I'm on the list for JC Scalers. I done a pre-order for his LR4 body. So if I get that LR4 body, I will be purchasing another BRX01 chassis to put it under. That BRX01, that just like talk about such a beautiful chassis to go to get. That thing is awesome. You know?
60 RCs, hot hoopty RC. That's a pretty good size collection right there.
Yeah. That's it. I sold a lot of RCs. Like I sold a lot of SCX 10.2s, and I sold a lot of what you call it, all my Traxxas and everything like too. And I sold the SBR before I even run it.
So Kevin says another BRX01.
Yeah, and then he just wrote, I knew it, Sean. Yeah. So that LR4 body, there's only two chassis. I know it's designed as well for an SCX 10.2 or a TRX4, but the only two chassis that LR4 deserves, in my opinion, is a BRX01 or a GCM, whatever you call the GCM chassis, the Max or Max 2, whatever that chassis is. Mm-hmm. That's the only two chassis it deserves.
So Gabe said that his absence does involve his girlfriend, but no Louis Vuitton or Chanel crap.
Yeah, that's what you think. She has you out of here. She has you out of the house so that the RCs will be sneaking out the back door to get her Louis Vuittons. So, and then on the same question, later on in the show, Brad sort of let it slip last night on the Tank Tank RC show, that I was building something. So I'm sure people were like, I wonder what it is. So later on in this show, I'll give you a JMPH exclusive of what it is. You know?
Sounds good. So y'all hear that, guys, a little bit later on. He's going to show us something that he's been hiding from everybody, a build. So I was on the chat last night, so I did hear that.
Yeah, Brad's got to learn whatever happens in the after show stays in the after show.
Yeah. So I know we joke with you a lot on this, usually every week. I know you don't like the 124 scale RCs.
Yeah, I can't. I don't understand them. I don't see the novelty of them. I don't like. I don't know. I don't get it. It's like it's hard enough to like. I know I build dollhouse rigs with these, and it's hard enough scaling them out without doing something. I just can't justify that price for something so small and tiny that like I don't know. You have to put another $400 or $500 in it just to get it actually to do what you want it to do. Like nice top shaper build with it.
And hot hoopty RC, I'm in the same boat as you, so I understand. Stay strong. So with the 124 scale, now I've owned one, and I no longer do currently. I sold the one I had. And so I sort of understand, especially when I had a SCX 24, the C10, and I really just couldn't get into it. Now I did quite a few mods to it. Didn't spend a ton on it, but did quite a few mods, and just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, and Fern's got a good question here.
What if Vanquish comes out with an SS3? I'll tell you what, if Vanquish comes out with one, Fern, I will buy it just to do a 4th of July fireworks display. I will fill it with a big M80 and I will just let it go.
So, when I had my SEX24, I for the most part would say I felt like you do what you just described. Now, what I can say is when we were at Fern's Solos that Friday prior to the Fur Baby crawl, I know quite a few people bought from Dixieland RC that day the Element 24 scales.
Which is actually just an RGT rebranded.
Yeah, so I drove, I think Wayne's, I think he had one. I drove it, and I have to say it was a night and day difference in the stock Element 24 scale versus what I had that was modded.
Yeah.
SCX 24. Plus, I will say Fern's got a beautiful backyard course for SCX 24, and having a course that is designed for it makes a huge difference too. Definitely makes it a little bit more fun / realistic.
Yeah.
You can't take them on a normal course that you would do a 110 scale. It's just not going to work.
That's what I mean. Like I like if anybody watches my videos, I try and choose locations that are like really scale to my truck. Like I don't go out and do these big giant rocks going over. My truck doesn't look scale on them. Like I try and choose locations that's pretty scale to the trucks, so the rocks are the moderate size. Everything sort of fits in it. And a lot of people don't probably think of that when they're watching my video, but that's why I'm not doing these big crazy rock crawls. And I try and keep the whole scale aspect. So to try and scale a 1/24th, I might as well just go out into my flower garden in the front and just drive around the flower garden. And it's like,
yeah.
I get the 1/24th if I wasn't mobile and I couldn't leave my house or something like that. Then I would see the appeal to them, But for somebody that's able to go out, walk trails, take a truck with them, in my case, take 2 trucks, and go drive the trails, and it's like, why would I carry a 1/24th around me? Put it in my pocket and, hey, look at that, there's a couple of pebbles, let's go over it,
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And I know you mentioned, there's a lot of people that have indoor crawler courses for 24 scale. Yeah. When I had mine, I never drove it inside. Never had the thought of creating an indoor course or the want. Maybe if I had, it would have made a difference, maybe, but just not what I wanted to do. So I'm with you. It doesn't really fit for me. But I will say I've considered getting the Element 24 scale, and since I enjoy driving Wayne's and playing with it, getting one of my own. Yes, that is what she said, Fern.
Yeah, that is what she said, Fern. But it's I don't know. Like a lot of people have, if I was in YouTube to be a viewer and just want views and hey, look at me, I would buy a 1/24 scale and do a video because they drag in a lot of views. But
they do.
I'm not a viewer. I don't care. You watch my video, you watch it. You don't watch it, you don't watch it. I put it up because it's a video I like to do, and I put it out there. I put it out there for me. You watch it, you watch it. You don't, you don't.
Yeah, I agree. The videos from when I had the 1/24 scale actually still do really good in views. It's sort of amazing in my opinion. But I don't, as you, I don't get really that much enjoyment out of them for the most part. So my main reason in probably getting one, if I do get one, is to have one to run on the 24 scale course at USDE.
Yeah.
That way I can run every course and say I ran every course.
Yeah. Well, the other words, the SR24, the worthless, your
I'm also still I'm still
Yeah.
convinced that we should all purchase a 124 scale to send to Sean just because I want to see him do something really cool and blow it
Look,
up.
I'm telling you, I told you before, you send me a 124 scale, I'm going to drive to Pennsylvania, I'm going to buy the biggest mortar I can find, I'm going to strap it inside the 124, I'm going to light the fuse, I'll do a video of it driving, and we'll just do the countdown to where it blows up. So that's let me move this out of the way for a second. I'll
All right.
show you an example. Like, so,
Shade Tree says it's not the size of your crawler that matters; it's how you wiggle it.
like, I'll show you this for an example. Here's my Cherokee, right?
Yep.
So, like, how small do I really need to go? This is a wheel for a 1/14 scale Tamiya truck, and the wheel it's actually bigger than my crawler. So it's like this is as small as you could actually physically go on a 1/10 rig. These are only like 3.65 or something, and they're not even that much. They're not. They're about the same size. The Tamiya wheel is probably the same size that's on that BRX01. So it's like if I'm already going this small with something that's really cute, like this. This is a full SEX 10.2 chassis.
Mm-hmm.
The SEX 10.2 straight axles and everything too. It even was axial, tax spec, and everything. So, like, if I can go that small on a 1/10 scale and have this thing like driving out there and looking nice when it's driving, why would I want to go with a 1/24th?
Good point.
But to me, a 1/14 truck wheel is bigger than what I'm driving.
Good
So
point.
it's like, but that's the cool thing with the dollhouse trucks. Like, you don't. You make them nice and small and nice and scale, but they're still really capable trucks.
Yeah, definitely. So you sort of answered this earlier, but there's maybe a little bit more to it. So you said earlier you created your YouTube account initially so you could post on other people's videos and comments.
Yeah.
So what got you to truly start making content, putting content out?
Um, Truthfully, I don't really know what made me post my first video. I just was like, I filmed a few videos when I was out crawling myself, and I always had the YouTube channel, so I was like, you know what, let me put one of these up here and we'll see. I think my first ever video had like 20 views, 20, 30 views or something, I think. My first ever YouTube video.
Mhm.
I was like, hey, maybe I'll just keep putting some up and see. So I did. And, like, I do everything on my phone. Like, this is my people laugh. Like, Tony, let me get my phone. Tony Big Red bitch comes out crawling to me. Sometimes XJ. Like, he laughs. Look at the screen on this thing. I don't know if it's good.
Here,
I
let
don't know
me.
if the camera up there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, it's all cracked up.
Yeah, so that's what I film with. That's what I edit with, and everything.
Oh, you edit on your phone too?
I edit. Everything's all edited on my phone. Film on it, edit on it, everything.
See, I film with the phone, but I edit on the computer.
No, I can't be bothered. So by the time I download it to my computer I live in New York. Everything is like, let's go. So it's time is money. If I have to download it from my phone to a computer to edit on the computer to do, that's taking up way too much of my life. So
Understandable. I mean, it seems like a lot of people that I talk to in RC YouTube, it seems like probably the big majority, not only video on phones, but edit as well on phones.
Yeah, I just use iMovie. I run the iMovie on my phone. I just edit it there and then, and that's it. I spend probably 5 minutes editing my videos. I don't even put music in my videos or anything. I could, if I wanted, I could go in and spend a lot more time on my videos and edit them and do all this great but that's not me. I'm raw and uncut myself, so my videos might as well be the same.
Yeah. Fern and Hello RC both say they edit on their phone as well. Like I said, I seem to be one of the few. I'm very much a computer person. I guess I already always have been a computer person. I work on a computer pretty much every day for work, and so I'm just comfortable that way. And my setup here at home is, I have my computer monitor directly in front of me, but I have a 32-inch monitor on the wall next to it. So I edit on that one. So it's nice and big. Hot Hoop DRC says, I don't edit. What you see is what you get. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's totally the way it is. Like, and that's why I don't really put music in my videos. Just maybe every now and again, out of the blue, I'll put a bit of music in my video. And just like, truthfully, for music, I can't be bothered working out what would get you a strike, what wouldn't get you a strike, I just can't be bothered working. So the best way to do it is just don't put music in the video.
I've played with the music thing myself. I went through a phase of trying to use music, and like you just said, trying to deal with the copyright stuff, and then trying to find music that fits the length of the,
that's what I mean. Because I see some people like, and they put videos out there and they put music in it, and they put everything, but the music totally doesn't match what's happening in the video.
That too.
So somebody be doing a slow crawl over something, and next minute there's like big guitars smashing it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, if you're going to put the music in, select the right song for your video.
And that's hard to do, honestly. At least for me. So yeah, I once in a while I'll do it. Usually, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm using a song in a video, I'm usually covering up noise that I don't want to be heard. Background noise or something. But see, I also like to hear. I like to hear the motor. The sound of the motor and the gears and stuff. I actually personally, I like to hear that.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, lately, a few of my videos, I'm actually talking a lot more in the video as I'm doing the video as well. So, and I don't know. It's just one person out there, Fern Soul. He's really good at matching a song to a video. But he probably takes hours and hours to choose. He probably chooses the song before he chooses which video is going to go with that song, But he's really good at matching them.
Agree. He is, and also RVRC, which is local to me. He does a lot of videos in his and our music, and every time I watch it, I'm like, man, that just matches the video and fits, and I'm like, I can't do that.
I can't either. Like I said, I don't know. I just have the time, the patience, and then, my luck, I choose a song, spend all this time, choose a song, put the freaking video up, and then YouTube would remove the video because copyrights or something. So then, why bother?
Fern says, I normally pick the song first, so I'm taking it. You pick your song first, and then decide how you're going to do it. That's interesting. And Hello RC says it's hard. I listen to samples for hours, and that's exactly when I have done it. That's what I've come across. So
yeah, and that's one thing I'm just not willing to do. I'm not willing to
agree.
It's not like I'm never going to be able to retire off of YouTube. I'm never going to be able to live off of YouTube or anything. So it's like, why am I going to spend these many hours for maybe 100 people to watch if you're lucky? I'm going to spend hours and hours where probably the same 100 people will watch if I spend 5 minutes on the editing of it.
Yep. So, I completely follow you there.
Yeah, so it's like I guess it's like everything. If I was all about the views and hungry for a view whore and I'm going to do this for YouTube and I'm going to make so much money on YouTube, and then if I put a lot more time, a lot more effort into it, I probably could, but I just don't have the time. Right? My job takes up a lot of my time. It's like if I get out crawling at the weekends, I get out, and that's why I like just doing a lot of builds. Just passing my time takes the stress off of work, doing builds.
Yep. So, out of your videos on that you have on your channel, what would you say is the video you had the most fun filming?
Ooh, what was the one I had the most fun filming? There's one where I'm driving the what do you call it, the Range Rover and the D110. I'm doing like a camel run, but on the video it doesn't even like on the video you wouldn't even think there's anything about it. But there's one section where I'm driving them and I drop into the ocean. Like on the video it looks like you've way more room. So when them things are coming up and they're starting to wheelie, I'm just like I'm actually standing over the edge of the cliffs just on a couple of rocks to get the right angle to stand and watch them even coming. So that was like one of the most fun sounds. On the video, you won't even know that that's how it is. And the funny thing is, like, if they fall in, it's goodbye because I can't swim, so I'm not getting in after them. Like, I just want to. They're going to sink, and that's it. I'm not going. I'm not going to go and rescue them. You know.
Fern, take it easy. Hot Hoopty, thanks for stopping in as well. Awesome. So I need to. I don't know if I've seen that video. I need to make sure I watch it. And so I know you like small tires on on your straight axle RCs. What's your tire of choice? Or your go-to tire?
If I was to choose a go-to tire, it would be the Boom Racing Hustlers.
Boom Racing Hustlers?
Yeah, Boom Racing Hustlers.
Okay, nice.
Choose a tire. Yeah. But all my tires are scale and to the trucks, but the Hustlers, even though I have the like on that truck, I've got what they call the baby Hustlers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the thread pattern. Let me grab it a minute. I'll show you like the thread pattern on them. It's freaking awesome. So.
Kevin Gibbs. Don't know that I want to know the answer to that.
So this, like, look, these are the baby Hustlers, and look at the thread pattern.
Okay.
So the regular 1.9s and stuff in them are like really aggressive and really good. And sticky as anything. But this thing this thing's a sick truck, like, you know.
I've thought about buying one of those. I love the way they look.
Yeah, like the BRX01 chassis is the only chassis to put this thing on. Like you see people with them on the SX102s and on the SX102s and on the TRX4s, but they just don't look like you know.
Yeah, I actually considered getting one for a Class 1 truck is what I had considered.
Because like if you look at that silhouette, the wheels tucked right up inside the arches and everything. But this thing's fully loaded, like the windows all wang. There's like, hold on, let me open the door. So you didn't have to pull a button to open the door.
Wow.
But I don't know if you'll see it I don't know if you'll actually see it on camera, but
I can barely see it, but I can.
So hold on. So this one has wind up windows.
Wow. That's crazy.
Up and down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the doors actually have the thing at the side of them to lock them. You have to actually lock them and open them with that. Even the hood. So you have to get like few Americans, I'll say the hood, even though we call the bonnet. So there's actually a button right there. You have to actually press that button to open the bonnet and everything.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, and there's a motor bay that I just ordered that should be here within the next week or two with this thing. So it'll have everything open, like the back gate, the tailgate's open. And these tires are the same. Like this is what I was talking about. There's the 114 scale truck tire.
Yep.
They're pretty close. But this thing, Tony, Red Bits of Cali, he was like, he came out, his tires in his truck, the back, his wheels were near enough up to the top of my bed. And he was like, "Oh, there's no point you going this way. You'll not go." And I was like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" And then he was even shocked. He was like, "Whoa, that thing is freaking crazy!" Like Boom Racing built trucks to, like they know how to build a truck. I will give them that. Like,
Nice. So Kurt sort of asked a couple of questions I had coming up. So what's your ESC of choice? Your
my
go-to,
ESP choice go-to is the Hobby Wing 1080.
which I think is almost a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, all my trucks are brushed. I don't have any brushless trucks. And my motor of choice is I used to spend $80 a motor on taking on the 30, what do you call it, the Hamline Pro 30 turn.
Mm-hmm.
But this, like, see this creepy crawler motor?
Yeah, I've heard you talk about this before.
Yeah, it's a $20 motor, and let me open that. Full rebuildable. It's actually a tuned motor, so that's it right there. And if you took the label off it and put it beside the Taken, you probably wouldn't tell the difference in which motor is which.
Nice.
And this thing's only $20 versus 80. Now this is a 20 turn, which is probably like a 55 turn, but it's actually a 5-slot motor. Thing is so smooth at low end and down. Like they have 16 turns in them, and they have other. So people like a little more speed and a little more stuff to have, but it's just I don't know. NHX. Like if you go on nitrohobbies.com and then just type in NHX, all the NHX products will come up. And for $20, you could not go wrong with that.
So your picture disappeared. I can hear you, but we can't see
Yeah,
you.
it says your browser has lost connection to your camera. Let me see.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, let me see what this happened.
And I just saw that
There you
I got a comment on this. KB, you mustard on ice cream. Did I see that? That I'm sorry. That just sounds.
go.
Ooh,
Mustard
God.
on ice cream? What?
That just sounds. Wow. Like Tank, welcome.
Tank RC, welcome. Yeah, who would put mustard on ice cream? That's like, what the hell?
And hello, RC. Absolutely. That's in motors that I've tried. That is the best motor by far for $20. Agree on the Crawlmaster. I'm
Yeah,
sure there's other great motors out there, but
like not to knock home motors or anything. Like I don't know. I personally I don't see what the whole hype of them is. I tried the Trailmaster Pro. I tried the Trailmaster Pro, and there's something else I tried. Honestly, this thing here is way better low torque and low speed on it than them. So that's
gotcha.
just me personally, though. But everybody has their own preference. Like,
Absolutely.
a lot
That's
of people
the
like
nice
putting
thing.
brushless. Yeah, like a lot of people like putting brushless in their crawlers. I like all my crawlers to be brushed. It's like just that's me. That's good.
I tend to like the brushless. I have one, or I'm sorry, brushed. I have one brushless set up in a crawler, and that's my fusion system, and I do really, really like it.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. But for the most part, just because, I mean, $20 and then a $45 ESC, I mean, you just can't really go wrong there. So going along the same theme, what's your radio of choice? Is it Spectrum?
I run the same show now. He convinced me to try it. Awesome, Kevin did. Yeah, definitely. Well, a Spectrum when I'm driving 2 trucks, but when I'm driving 1 truck, my radio choice is the Fly Sky TT5.
Okay.
So that's my radio choice for when I'm driving 1 truck. Because a lot of my trucks have 2 receivers in them, so when I want to drive them with a Spectrum, they have the Spectrum receivers. When I want to drive 2 of them together, And then when I want to just drive one of them, they have a fly sky receiver in it.
Oh wow, okay. So there you can pretty much run most of them. If you wanted to run them with multiple rigs, you could, or you can just run them
Yeah,
separate on a
and just
different.
run them singly. Yeah, because the good
Okay.
thing that GT5 takes up to 20 rigs as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's such an easy controller to use. Everything just lights up in your fingertips and loads.
Yep.
So, you know.
Yeah, I
I
like
know a lot of people
I
as
like
well.
the Fly Sky GT3C, basically,
Yeah.
which is the one before the GT5, more or
Did
less.
you hack it or
Yeah, it's a hacked one, so it can
hack
have like I don't know how many.
10 channels, I think, then in it? Or 8
Yes,
or 10 channels or something?
yeah, it's a lot. So
Yeah.
sadly, I have one of those, and I only have two rigs on it currently. But
Yeah.
I keep talking about combining down, but I haven't done it yet. Let's see.
A Crowmaster and a 1080 don't get you there. You need to learn to drive. Shade Tree, I totally agree with you. Because, like, a lot of people blame the electronics and blame this and blame that, but at the same time, if you don't know how to drive it, you don't know what you're doing, just, hey, you won't get there.
Definitely. Driving's a big part of crawling, absolutely.
Yeah,
Got to
and
pick
it's
the
like,
right line and make the right, adjustments and turning the
yeah,
wheel the right way.
that's it. And it's the same, like, one thing that used to annoy me is, like, a lot of people complaining about Traxxas Electronics and Traxxas, like, oh, they're the worst sucky servos in the world, and they this and they that. But what a lot of these people don't understand is, like, these trucks before they came out, there was multiple hours, thousands of hours in testing in this truck.
Hmm.
So that's why the truck came out with plastic wheels, whatever tires, everything. Like, that's the spec for that truck. The electronics in that truck is designed to run out of the box. That truck. The second you start putting metal tires or metal wheels, not metal tires, that would be weird if you had metal tires. But, like, as soon as you put metal rims on, now you've changed the weight for that servo to operate at. So the servo start burning out, and then people are blaming the Traxxas. It's not really the Traxxas servo. It's you changed and modified from the original specs of the truck. So what do you think is going to happen?
You start putting brass up front. You're making it heavier up front. The servo
Yeah,
has
that's
to
it.
deal with
Like
that.
my receipt or my servo choice is like 90% of my rigs all have the Power Hobbies, the 23 kg servo in them. I've never once had an issue with any of them. So,
Yeah, yeah. You commented on the Traxxas Electronics. Now I have a TRX4 that honestly to this day I still run the original motor in it because I haven't killed it. It's almost 2 years old. Still have the factory ESC in it. I have upgraded the servo because I did. I was at when I first got it. I tried to compete with it a little bit, so I definitely saw some lack thereof without adding any weight or anything of the servo. So I upgraded, but the it's got the locking diffs. Both servos still work, the original ones.
yeah,
The remote, which I love because the TQI remote, it's got like cruise control. I can just did it
yeah,
here not too long ago. Set the cruise control when I'm doing a trail walk or whatever, and
yeah.
just have to
Well,
worry about
alongside
steering it.
it.
The only issue I've had with the electronics on it was actually the for the locking diffs. I don't know if it's the switch itself or if it was the channel, but it stopped locking or unlocking. I thought it was the servo, and it wasn't. After all, it was either the channel went out or the switch went out. So I had to use a two into one. So basically, when I lock and unlock, I only got to move at one spot, and both diffs lock at the same time versus front by itself and the rear. But
Okay, probably
that's
the
the only
yeah,
issue. Um,
yeah. So it probably was the channel when I
yeah,
too.
that's my assumption. But it's been running the way I have it now for 8 months or something like that since that's happened, and it's fine. So I've been sort of waiting for that Titan motor to die so I could put a motor, probably a Crawlmaster like 12 turn, 13 turn, something like that in it. But
And it's the same with my servos. Like I use like a 23 kg servo because I build, as you can see behind me, I build scale rigs, dollhouse rigs.
Yeah.
You know, I see people posting videos all the time of like their trucks sitting there and the wheels going, and they're like, "Oh, look at my servo." You know, like to me, that's not scale. That's not like my servos are all designed so the truck turns scale, looks scale
Mhm.
when it's going. Like, when do you ever see a car out on the road and the wheels going like this to turn, like, 100 mile an hour to turn? Like,
Only when something's wrong with them.
yeah, so it's like it's not a drift car, like, and even a drift car doesn't turn that fast, like, so it's to me, I just like the scale aspect of each to their own, like,
Yep.
but I build a truck that if it's going to look scale, everything's going to be scale. The servo power is going to be right, and that's why I find like the Power HD 23 kg just gives it the perfect like scale turn to it. Doesn't get it like this big crazy fast sharp turn.
Mhm.
Like,
Hello, RC. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good evening.
Hello, have a good night.
And that's some good points there on the servo. I mean, I deal a little bit more on the comp side. So when you're comping, sometimes having good, reaction on the steering
Yeah,
and stuff can be a big thing. But for what you're talking about, scale rigs, that's all very good. A stock TRX4 servo, as long as you're not throwing a bunch of weight on it, it's
yeah.
probably going to be, pretty good for that. For what you're talking about. So that's some good points. um, so what connector of choice for your batteries?
EX60.
EX60.
It's just so easy to like. I don't have to reach far for a light bulb. They're always within reach. But
Yeah.
like the EX60, I keep looking like for my overhead camera, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
This
Let me
you can't put it
hang on
on.
a second here.
The
Yeah.
XT60 connectors are just they're so easy to solder and they fit together. So like when you put these things together, they just clip really nice and
I agree.
they don't come apart real easy. So they come. I know a lot of people still use them Dean's plugs, but man, them things to solder them and go, they get really annoying. Did my video just freeze again?
It looks like it did.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree with you. I've most of my vehicles have Deans, and
Yeah.
I've recently started playing with the XT60s and XT90s. And yes, they are they're so easy to solder. Like I wish I had tried those years ago. Now, of course, I got to start switching everything over. um,
Yeah.
but they are so easy to solder compared to a Dean's. Definitely.
Yeah. Is there a way of refreshing your screen or something? 'Cause
It's a good question.
well, for me, is there a way like let me stop the cam and then bring the cam back? Yeah, it seems like weird.
Yeah, I
I
think
wonder if
the only way I know is probably to refresh your browser, which
switch.
it might keep.
When you
Wait a minute.
switch to that camera, give you a view of like half the crap around me. There we go.
There we
That's
go.
not
There we
camera.
go.
I don't
Awesome.
know for some reason why it'll only connect down to it won't connect because I changed my whole RC room around. So
Yep.
right now there's a camera right above my head. So when I'm doing anything, I can actually just look right down on top of me now as well. So
Yep. Nice.
I even changed the way my whole room is laid out and set up. And then
So actually almost down to my last question, honestly. Um, so out of your crawlers,
yep.
if you were going to go crawl right now, you can only take one rig. What's the rig?
If it was for ski, man, it depends.
A trail crawl.
For a trail crawl, um, with nothing, with nothing spectacular on the trail crawl, then it would be this. Totally this. But if it was going out where there's some really tough stuff and really going stuff, without a doubt, that GSO2 Komodo. That thing,
Nice.
that thing is the most underrated crawler on the market. I'd say so too.
Thanks for stopping in, Tank.
Later, Tank. Have a good one.
Nice. So, guys, if y'all have any questions you want me to ask Sean, post them up. I've actually been.
They're dropping like flies in there. I guess they don't want to see what.
Yeah, they don't want to see your special reveal.
Yeah, they don't want to see one of my UST builds. So what? Like I have so many builds now. This is a UST build that I have going on right now. Let me put this up because that orange truck up there. I don't know if you ever seen that. Yeah. So this one up here. Hopefully the parts will be in this week for this one. So this is a UST build as well. This is a 6x6.
Yeah, and I've seen you working on this one.
Yeah, so this is a 6x6 Land Rover. I just spoke with Tony with Red Bits, the back arm just got sandblasted. So this is going to be a Racket truck. I have all why is that back door not open? So back door opens, these doors all open. The interior, so like everything opens in this. The interior is sitting right there. RC Voodoo is actually 3D printing me a piece for it right now. So it is ready, but he's also printed me a couple of engine bays for this one and for this one. This one comes once I put the inner fenders and all in, but this has got a full aluminum engine and everything in it.
Oh, nice.
The engine's all aluminum, everything. So this thing's really nice. So I'm just waiting on parts, and then it's gonna have all like Sean's RC recovery, 24-hour throwing.
Oh, okay, so it's sort of like a service-like rig,
yeah. So this is gonna be full like Sean's RC recovery truck. So it's
nice.
So this will recover all my 110 steels and everything. Nice. So let me just put it up here.
I look forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, so hopefully I've been waiting for a few weeks now for some of the parts. So hopefully the parts come in. So on that note, I'll bring in one of my secret UST builds since Brad spoiled it last night. Was asking about it. So here we go.
So Green Frog asked, what type of soda do you prefer?
Fanta or Sunkist. Orange Fanta or Sunkist. So this is the one Brad was talking about. This is the Tamiya Racket truck. As you can see, it's the same color as the 6x6. The camera doesn't really do it justice. And this one's going to have all the same. So let me grab some of this.
So what color is it called? What's the color?
It's actually orange and black. So let me.
So is it more like the Sunkiss orange?
Pumpkin orange they call it or something. So
pumpkin orange. Okay.
This is one of the black cases, and then these are all so when all of this stuff goes on and all the doors go in and the black, and then this will also have. So when that all goes in, and this then will also have across the doors and everything. Sean's RC recovery, and then the fake phone numbers and the recovery stickers, and even the front of it. Then will get the front of it will get the recovery stickers, and then it has got the boom, the electronics, so the boom will go up and down.
So you'll be able to control that from the remote.
Yeah. So this can, if I plug the battery in there now, this arm will go up and down from the remote, and then I just added actual winches. So because what comes on the truck are they're just like a plastic reels with a spool of wire.
Okay.
With a spool of a thread. So then this will be the winches are actually working this, so you can actually hook the winch out and tow. So this will be like my 1/14th recovery truck, and then I'll have the what do you call it? I'll 110 recovery trucks. That's why both recovery trucks are the same collar and everything. So it'll be like the fleet of recovery trucks. So all of this stuff goes all. So all of this goes on, and then when all the doors go in, like I'll get the writing right across all the doors. So it'll be pretty cool when they're done, you know.
So are you going to drive that one in the 6x6 together, like on one remote?
No, because this thing here alone is going to take this. The amount of stuff that is needed for this and what I want to do for it, I actually have to buy a new remote and everything because this is going to take. By the time I'm done, I'm going to need like 10 channels on this thing alone.
Okay.
So the time is done, but this was a secret of the. This was a secret build that I was doing off camera, and then Brad was like, yesterday, "Oh, Sean, how's the 8x4 going?" So I'm sure. I know some people probably didn't even hear it, but I'm sure other people were like, "Oh, I wonder what he's building," like, you know. So I was like, "No,
That's going to be cool."
Yeah, so this will be like how the black and orange all goes together and everything like this. So really cool. And then the doors are all. The doors go in here and open. The doors will go over here. The doors will go in over here.
Yeah.
Like, so it will be pretty cool, like, you know.
That's going to be awesome. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
USTE. So how many rigs are you planning on taking the USTE?
Well, I'll have this rig. I'll definitely have this rig. I'll definitely have that 66. I'll definitely have them 2 rigs up there. I don't know if I'll bring the Range Rover. The Range Rover is pretty freaking cool. Like, I might bring this. Hold on, let me see. I might bring this rig with me because this is actually a really beautiful rig. Like this.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, so I might bring that rig.
Mhm.
This thing's fully AM garage. Like the whole bottom's AM garage, roll bars, bumper bars,
Yep.
bumpers at the back. But this thing is like I was thinking maybe putting the overdrive and all back on it. But for USDA, I wouldn't need the overdrive. This thing used to fully comp. Like the weight of this thing's insanely heavy. Like with all the metal on it and everything.
Yeah.
So that's actually that's the one that's actually on my shirt. It says I don't build shelf phones.
Oh, that's a nice truck.
That's actually the truck that's on my shirt.
Yep.
So but it's a really cool, and it's a leaf sprung truck as well. I think leaf sprung, but it's really. So I might bring this one as well.
So that puts you at what, like 5?
Huh?
That puts you about 5 rigs you're bringing so far.
Yeah, and then I have. Hold on, let me go under my tail in the box. I haven't even started yet as well. So I have, like most people have, get the parts for that bracket under here. So I haven't even started this build yet. So I have this thing as well
Oh.
to build, but the reason for this one is this one can be fully scaled out. So see the way the doors open on this one?
Mm-hmm.
So this opens and has full interior and everything.
Now, is that going to pull the trailer that you're building?
Yeah, so there's a pull that trailer and everything. But even for that one, I ordered like. So this is a box of parts. That's a box of parts, and then here is actually a whole new dashboard that I ordered from Europe. So to make it actually right-hand drive instead of like they come typically left-hand drive.
Oh, wow.
Because this one, like all the Tamiya trucks, you can't open the doors, or you can't do anything like that. There's no interior in a Tamiya truck. Like I'll show you for an example here. I'll pull the cab off of the.
Yeah, RC Master, he's going to need a truck to carry all of his trucks.
I know, right? Yeah. So like this is how a Tamiya truck comes. So a Tamiya truck, you get a dashboard with Tamiya truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then see just these 2 blue things here. They just have. Let me see. Let me grab the seat So they would just have a seat sitting on them like this,
Okay.
and that's all. So there's no floor pans, there's no interior or nothing. So that other one that I'm building has full interior, full everything. And then the reason I ordered this dashboard, like, see the little doors open on it,
Oh wow.
like here.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, I see it. It's a little whited out, but yeah, I see it. That's cool.
So once it's painted up, but these doors will open, so these will all be a little scale, like magazines in them. But then the cool part, like all of this, will actually light up. There's full lights.
Oh wow.
Everything. So this truck is going to be like scaled out as well, like too. So and that's the one thing I liked about it, because if you're going to build a truck, like I love the Tamiya trucks, like what do you call it, the ground hauler, the whatever, like the ground hauler, the global, all of them trucks. I really like them, but you can't really scale the inside of it. You can't scale, because if you put opening doors on the Tamiya, there's no floor pans, there's no nothing. So you have a driver's seat just hanging in the air. With this, the one I have, you have, let's say it shows you in the instruction manual. The difference you would have is full. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I know somewhere in the instructions it's going to tell you to build the interior. Somewhere it has to tell you. And then even for this one, I got like so here's, you'll see the doors will be able to open. So the doors will all open on it. And then like even the front Mercedes badge over here, so that Mercedes sign on the front of it.
Yep.
I actually got a light up one, so that'll actually just be the Mercedes badge that'll be lit up and everything too. I'm trying to see if it shows. Huh, that's crazy. Doesn't show me building interior. Oh, here we go. Okay, so straight away on this one, you have your dashboard was in, the seats, you even have all the paddles, like right over here. You have all the paddles and everything, like, so.
Nice.
The whole thing, So that's a good thing about it. It's like it can be scaled.
That's going to be cool. That's going to be cool to see. I really like with UST. I like the fact that they brought in the 18 wheelers and stuff. Like that's just awesome to see, and those trucks are so awesome.
Yeah. So it's like. Because even when I go to USTA, there's none of them that have the trucks that have the doors open, and like I plan on maybe doing something funny with it. I plan on finding maybe a couple of little female figures, a couple of lot lizards, make them look, a couple of lot lizards going in and out. So,
I can't remember somebody last year. Yeah. Somebody had an 18-wheeler that had full interior. I don't remember if the doors opened or not, but I know it had full interior.
Like the Tamiya ones look like they've got a full interior, because you have the seats and you have the dashboard, and then you can put a person in it. But if you actually look down in it, there's no floor plans.
No, this one they commented on this when they were announcing it, talking about like look inside. You could see, I didn't look, but there was. And if you look inside, they had like a full floorboard, and evidently they had a bed and the sleeper. Like it was done up. I just don't know if the doors opened.
Yeah, so that's the thing with mine. Like once the doors are going to be open, you'll be able to see the full interior, the light up dashboards.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Like, so it should be. Hopefully, it turns out as cool as I have it in my head.
Yeah.
My head's got a lot more cooler ideas than my,
So Brian Taff asked, what RC event would you like to attend that you have never attended before?
RC event I like to attend that I've never attended before. Actually, I probably will attend it 2022. It would be Beat the Creek and Beat the Barn.
That's one I would like to go to.
Yeah, so I probably will attend it in 2022. Like, so.
Nice. So Beat the Creek.
And then also, what's the RC 4-wheel drive one on the West Coast? Isn't it? They have one on the West Coast, I think. Like it's another scale event too, sort of like. So.
Hang on, trying to see if I can find it.
I could have bought a king hauler for $350 on Facebook.
They have the East Coast Scale Challenge.
No, that's the East Coast Scale Challenge. That you don't want to go to. That's it's like a scale comp type fucking thing, but the biggest prima donnas in the history of the world are at it. Like it's, I heard guys complaining one time about I missed my gate because when I was going, that guy walked past and his shadow, I couldn't see the gate. And like, dude, get a life. They're RC trucks, like, you know, just like, stop bitching. You just couldn't drive. Like, that's the truth of it, like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to. Beat the Creek is one I'd like to go to.
Yeah, I just want to do Beat the Barn. I want to do that. You know, like the barn, have the hanger way up. Like, you're standing in the ground, your truck's like 30 or 40 feet in the air in the barn, like driving around the course.
Yeah, isn't that at Big Buddha's ranch, right?
What's that?
Isn't that at Big Buddha's ranch? The barn?
Yeah, Big Buddha's ranch.
Yeah.
They actually have one coming up now next month in October. It's Rocktober, they call it. So it's the same guys that run Beat the Creek. They're running Rocktober. I was thinking of heading down to it, but I'm still not sure yet. So,
yeah, I actually want to try to make one of the axial events possibly next year. Let's see about making one of those.
For which one?
One of the axial events, either the one like I know you went to the one that was closer to our side of the U.S.
The one in Thailand was it was a cool event. Like, you know, the pity though, like trust the year I go, like the first 3 days are rain. Well, the first 2 days was crazy insane rain. Like, you know, just nuts rain. So
which we had rain at USTE this year. Like we had quite a bit of rain, especially the first day. There was a lot of rain at USTE this year, but it sort of dried out. Like I saw some of the videos, and there seemed like there was definitely a lot of rain, a lot of standing water. It wasn't that bad at USTE, but
yeah, it's like Queen Crocs that's in the chat there. Like, she actually jumped in to save one of the trucks. Me, Joel, and RC Voodoo were out crawling together, and Lauren was coming out walking around with us as well. She had a spectator class, but there was one. I drove into it. I didn't think. I was like, this ain't going to be nothing bad. I drove in. The next minute, the truck just went, boom, disappeared. Clean. I was like, what the hell? Before I even knew it, she was in. She pulled the truck out, like, and saved the truck. So, but
nice.
Dude, RC Voodoo was sent these receivers to test from some company. I can't even remember the company right now. These things weren't even in a receiver box. No conformal coating, no nothing. They went under, like, like completely submarine. Just drove out, no problem. Not even a flinch out of them. Like,
nice.
Really.
See, I did the same thing that you did at USTE on Friday, because they had done something that they changed one of the trails, and they took it down into the lowlands, which was in the water, and it was specifically like a small section was like a mud trail, basically.
Yeah.
A scale mud trail. And there was this one, you could see it was like a hole, to go in, but I'm thinking, okay, this is USTE, this thing's gonna barely get up the side of the tires, and I go into it like you were just talking about with yours. The truck just like went like under, like all was sticking up was just the cab, and I'm like, oh crap! And it was my trail walker, but thankfully it climbed right out. But I'm like, it was deceivingly how deep this hole that was only like this big, just like
sit down in it. What type of shelf? Our single master's talking to Queen.
Yeah, they're talking about some photography stuff.
Yeah, some photographs. One thing I don't do much of, which I should do more of when I'm out on the trail, is take some more photos.
I'm always bad about that myself.
Yeah, sometimes I do take some scale photos with like the truck. So
I took a fair amount, not a lot, but I took some at USTE because that's the nice thing about USTE is there's a fair amount of scale stuff to take pictures in, next to or whatever. I took some, but outside of that, when I go out crawling with buddies or stuff, a lot of times I end up not. I should, but I don't.
Actual Fest is actually the most footage I've ever done at an event. It's the most fun. Normally, I go to events like when I went to UST and stuff. I probably got like 5 minutes of video. Like I'm just too busy. Like I'm the sort of person like anybody wants to talk, I'll chat. Like,
yeah.
So I'd be too busy just talking to people, going around the trails and just like shooting shit, like So the camera doesn't even. I don't even cross my mind to take the camera. Like I come to this event to make a video or something with my trucks, and I end up not even doing it. Like I'm just so busy gabbing to people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people to talk to, like an event like UST. I mean, especially this year was a little different, but prior year being my first year, and it was a normal year, or at least at USTE time, and we had all these people from different countries, and I mean, it's just awesome experience.
It's spicy because Sean will talk forever. Yeah, and spicy because like USTE for us guys that build the dollhouse trucks. That's what
perfect event for you.
Yeah, that's what USTE is for. Like, so you get to talk to some of the best builders in the world. Like JS Scale was there, GCM was there, the guys from what's it called? There's a couple of the guys from overseas. They come, like JS Scales from France, but where's them other guys from? I think the Netherlands or Germany or somewhere.
I think Germany.
Yeah, and these guys you see a lot of comments in Facebook and all after UST. Oh well, I think my rig should have won this, or I think my rig should have won that. But they gotta realize they're up against people that are building these trucks every day for a living. So it's like, of course they deserve to win it, or they deserve to be placed in it. And to me, the point of like I build my scale rigs. For me, they're pretty scaled out. I think any of them will win in the show and shine. Probably not. Probably won't even place in the show and shine. But instead of like what I would try and encourage people, and that's what I like when I meet people out on the trails, and I would hear them bitching and moaning at USTA about the judges shouldn't be allowed to judge. They're all friends. They're all this. They all know each other. Our trucks don't have a chance. So what I try and tell them and encourage them, listen, these guys are here for the whole weekend. These guys will sit and these guys will talk to you. Like some of the coolest guys ever. So instead of you being out here bitching and moaning and getting upset about your truck didn't win just because you thought you built the best. I'm sure every scale builder out there thinks they built the best scale looking truck. My trucks, honestly, they're nice trucks, but they probably wouldn't get a look into these guys. You know what I mean? But instead of bitching and moaning about it, what I tell them is, why don't you go and speak to the judges and say, hey, I appreciate your judging. What do you think I could have done to my truck to push it a little bit more over the edge? And then you're getting advice from some of the best builders in the world to be like, hey, you know what? If you had done this or done that, this is what would have brought you up another level in it. Instead of like walking away thinking you built the best truck in the world, you should have won, and then getting pissy because you didn't win. Like, go and talk to these guys, learn from them, like pick their brain. You're not going to get an opportunity to come in front of all of these guys that do these scale builds for a living. Again, to come and go talk to them. So take the advantage of go talking to them.
Absolutely. I mean, I put mine, I'll put one of mine in the show and shine, and I don't do it because I'm expecting I know I'm not going to get any recognition or whatever. I do it just so my RC's sitting out there with all these other awesome RCs, and you get as many of them out there as possible.
Yeah. Like, I'll put mine in the show and shine this year, the same as like the tow trucks that I'm building. I'll put them all in the show and shine. Are they going to win something? No. Are they going to place? Probably not. But I put them out there because they get put in nice photos with some of the coolest builders in the world,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. To be a part of the event.
Yeah, that's it. And the same way as I said, like, you go and talk to these guys, like, every day RC, he builds some of the flattest hot rod looking trucks out there. Like, even the tractor trailer hot rod truck he built last year, freaking insane, And some people were complaining about, oh, well, that truck won last year. He didn't do anything. Why was he allowed to enter this year? Because he spent his time freaking building this thing. If it wins 2 years in a row, it wins 2 years in a row. Like, no complain about it.
I mean, if you're building to win, if that's in my opinion,
yeah.
What I like about USTE is that really there's not a competition. I realize they give out a few awards for a few things, but for the most part, it's not a competition. It's get RC people together. Get to meet the people that make the parts and motors and all this kind of stuff, and get to meet these brilliant minds and drive some really skilled courses and just have fun and not worry about scale points and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a few things that are judged or whatever, but it's not about that really. But like you said, some of these guys that do build some of this stuff, some of them there's a reason their stuff wins 2 years in a row. There's a reason. And if that's what you're going to do is build something to place, then take notes when you go. Take notes of what's winning, and plan to build something better than that.
That's my point, and that's why when I do hear people bitching about it on the trail, I stop them, and that's how I end up not making a lot of videos, because I would stop them and be like, listen, dude, do you have a nice truck? Hell yeah, you've got a nice truck. You've done nice work on it. You've done like some pretty cool stuff to it. There is shit ton more stuff you can do on it. So go and talk to the guys and ask them what else you can do. You see some guys coming in with Lexan bodies and stuff, but like all 98% all hard bodies. Doors open, everything open, so whatever, but you get guys. Yeah, I'm not knocking Lexan. You can do some really nice Lexan builds, but you still can't get the level of detail in a Lexan body as you can. Like, what do you say? If I grab this TF2, like, so let me grab this TF2. So, like, on a Lexan body, would I be able to put all in dents and do all that? Like,
not easily, for sure, if at all possible.
Do all them holes with a rough.
Yeah.
Like, so would I be able to do all of that on a Lexan? Like, put the holes in it. Like, even here, like, it looks like stuff was dropped on it, and it's all dented down and bent down.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that same result.
Yeah, I couldn't get, like, with a bonnet all been, like, Christ here, and then push the bonnet all out in places too. Like, you couldn't do that with as good on the Lexans. Like, people don't realize that. It's like, we build hard bodies for a reason, because you can do a lot more scale work on them and a lot more scale stuff to them.
Absolutely. I totally agree, with that. RC Master said painting Lexan is an art, and probably
Yeah.
yes, I would say so, and also hard body too is his own art as well.
It is.
Especially like the one you just showed, Sean. Like to do what you just did on the one you just showed, that to me is art because I wouldn't even know where to start to do any of what you just showed on that body. Like I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah, and it's all like, and the thing about it, a lot of people don't want to do it with hard bodies because, like, that body's probably $130 something, so they don't want to. They're afraid of the messing the body up, and I tell them it's like nothing but happy mistakes. You know, if you mess it up, it's like turn it into something that, like we put a dent in. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
if you don't like that dent, just change it up a little bit and do something, make it into a happy accident. You know? Yeah, painting the Lexan is like spraying the inside of the bodies. I'll tell you a funny story. I enjoy camping with Coleman, Extreme Steel Performance, Ust Build, his weekly review, RC, and Informative. Yeah, totally agree. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. The very first RC I ever painted was actually a Lexan body, and I didn't realize, I didn't know it was my very first time ever painting one or doing anything.
Mhm.
So I bought this clear Lexan body, and it came with a sticker on it like peel after painting, and I was like, how the fuck can I paint it if I have to peel this I like after I peel it? So I peeled it off, not knowing you're meant to spray Lexan bodies from the inside. I peeled this thing off. I sprayed the Lexan body from the outside. Looked really cool, like, I was like, how would this have worked if I had to put that on? I said, you know what? I went on YouTube and was like, aha, that's for overspray. But it's like that's how far I progressed by asking questions and doing stuff like,
Yep.
I sprayed my first ever body on the outside, a Lexan body, didn't know any different.
And I'm sure plenty of people have done the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, and it's just like by asking the right people the right questions and the right stuff,
Yep.
just learning how to do it. Not being afraid to mess up a body is the biggest part of it. Like if you think you messed up a dent or something, just change it into something else. Dude. Like even that one there, that was the very first time. I'll show you again. So this was the very first time I even attempted. And I done this on a live video when we were live chatting. So that's the first time I even ever attempted to do like a cracked windshield.
Nice.
So it looks like the holding that camera. It looks like the windshield's all cracked in there.
Yeah, I love how the windshield looks dirty. Yeah, how you've done the wiper marks.
So that's really easy to do. So what you do with that is you take the wipers and you put a piece of blue tape over the whole window, right? And then you trace with a Sharpie, you trace the direction of the wiper that goes, and then you cut around the Sharpie mark, peel the rest of it off, and then to make the dirt, all that is clear lacquer.
Nice.
So that's all that is clear lacquer. Then makes it look dirty. And it's all just like so. It's just simple little things you got too, like to make that window look like the wipers work. It's just that's all it is, clear lacquer.
Kevin Gibbs said dollhouse trucks are more for builders and painters, and I mean, yeah, you definitely got to have the want to spend that time.
Yeah, you definitely, because when you first take it out, like the amount of man hours I spent on that Range Rover. First, after I'd say I was driving it maybe 10 minutes at the most, went up over a nice big rock. Next minute it turned, but big rocks. I still go scale, like to where I go. Everywhere looks scale and looks fun, but it rolled right down all the. I just sat at the top of the rocks and I didn't even go down for about 5 minutes to look at it. I was like, the amount of man hours I spent on it. I went down. It was like the mirrors were broke off it. Like one of the doors, the hinges broke off the doors. But
Oh,
I will give a shout out and props to Club 5 Racing because nobody out there makes the hinges that you can buy separately or anything. So I reached out to Club 5 Racing and was like, hey, you know what? I was out on my trails, first run with this. I didn't realize I broke the hinges off the door. And Club 5 Racing were like, reach back in and say, hey, you know what? We'll reach out to the manufacturer, see what we can do for you. So a few days passed, and never thought anything more about it. Club 5 Racing emailed me and were like, hey, you know what? If you pay the $6 shipping, we got the manufacturer to give you a full set of complete hinges. So in my drawer, I actually have spare hinges now and everything. So I
nice.
just paid the $6 shipping, and they sent me all new hinges. So fair play to Club 5 Racing for
Very nice.
yeah.
KBRC said, at least you took the plastic off before you painted it. I wonder how many people did that, leaving the plastic on. And I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably been a few like So,
And
yeah.
RC Master said he never heard of the term dollhouse truck.
Oh, you never heard of that? No. So that Master, have you ever watched UST or anything? Dollhouse truck is what all of scale, small tire, 1.55 guys. They all call us dollhouse trucks because they're not these big portal axles that's just driving out over the top of everything. And in a way, they're for people that can actually drive. Like, there's, you got to think about your lines, you think about what way you're going in. And that's what I said the other night. I think it was actually last weekend on your chat or somebody's chat. I said I can make that 3.75 boom racing go all the same places as my TRX4 to go. I might have to take a completely different line, but I got to the same endpoint.
Yeah.
Only I had to actually drive to get there. I didn't just point and go. Like that's one thing that annoyed me with the TRX4s and the portals. They were fun to go out with, don't get me wrong, but you could a lot of times you just had to point them and go. Like, and they'll go out over everything. But these things, if I just point them and go, it's gonna get hung up, stuck, everything like that little Comanche, the pumpkins are near enough down to the bottom of the freaking wheel. The
Yeah.
wheel and the pumpkins are near enough level. So you gotta learn like where your pumpkins are, where everything is for that stuff.
Agree. And I just want to say too about dollhouse trucks. USTE is definitely designed around the dollhouse trucks. With that being said, I don't want anybody to think that you shouldn't show up with an RTR truck or a Lexan body truck. I've been 2 years in a row with nothing but Lexan body trucks. They're not going to turn you away. They're not going to make fun of you. The
Yeah,
people
that's
there
one
are
thing.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everybody is more than welcome, and they treat everybody the same. You just most of the really nice stuff is going to be like Sean stuff, hard bodies, customization across the board. But plenty of people bring their TRX4 Sports, and run them, and you're welcome, and they're not going to turn you away.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Run what you got. Like,
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
a good thing about it. Like, just run what you got. Are you gonna have as much fun on the trails? Probably not, because your TRX4 portal is everything's gonna be so easy on them trails for you. The trails are designed specifically for 1.55s. Like and the trails aren't even hard for 1.55s.
No, they're really not.
Yeah, they're scale trails, and they're designed to just look scale and like not make it challenging and not make you have a bad day. To make you, hey, you know what? I want to run that trail again. I want to have fun on that.
Yep.
Like, and that's why they're designed. Rob Matthews does an amazing job with USD. He spends months and months for a 3-day event. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, they spend a lot of time. RC Master said, so what you're saying is Kevin won't be there. But yeah, they spend a ton of time getting those trails ready, and they're so awesome scale.
Hold on a sec. Go ahead. What's up?
Um,
Yeah.
but those trails there at UST are phenomenal. Ton of time and man hours and heart put into those trails. And that's what's fun. Even taking my TRX4 with portals, like the cool thing is it's not that I'm looking for hard stuff to drive. It's that it just looks so cool on this awesome scale bridge that moves and stuff. Like
And all the scale buildings are just so well built and everything.
exactly. That's the cool part about it. And getting to drive with all these people. Sometimes you got 15 rigs in a row going down this scale trail, and that's just cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Like you go out there with your TF2s, there's just like a load of Marlins and TF2s rolling. Yep. It's like, wow, this is awesome. So.
Yep. And you'll find that people sometimes, I think this past year there was I didn't get to partake. I sort of forgot about it, and people will be like, hey, if you got a TF2, meet up at 10 o'clock on Saturday at Trail 3. We're going to go for all the TF2s together or something like that. Or if you've got a Jeep or, whatever, so you can get to crawl with other people with the same kind of vehicle you have. But you also get to meet really cool people from other states. Got to meet Adventure Time RC, this year, and spent pretty much the whole weekend crawling with him, which was awesome.
Yeah. You get to meet. Although Axial Fest, I never met as many freaking YouTubers as the Axial Fest. It's crazy.
Yes, Kevin, the location is an amazing place. You're right.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you're only go in there trailing for USDE. The rest of the year round, there's like cows grazing in that place. There's everything. Yep. So it's like Rob and all build amazing trails through that place for a 3-day event, and after that 3 days, that's it. Everything is broke down, gone, never to be seen again.
Yep. In fact, I think they've said, I know they were asked once before, I think it was on 11 Charlie's, one of the chats, Monday nights, that I think they said something like 2-3 weeks after the event, you can't really tell the trails were there.
Yeah, the cows and all just go in and destroy everything. Back right over.
But they put a lot of effort into it, and I've only been 2 years, but the change from the first year I went and this year being my second year, like I was expecting. I remember we went on the first trail. I was with Brent Adventure Time, and I'm like, oh yeah, this trail, I remember this last year. It was this and this. We got like 5 minutes into the trail, and I'm like, oh, this wasn't here last year. Like it was amazing how different the trails were. I mean, there are certain things that were exactly the same on certain trails, but for the most part, the trails always had differences, and that was so cool. I was not expecting to see these big differences.
Yeah, it is, and that's the cool thing about. And this year, Vander Road, dude, it is going to be massive. Like the companies that's going to be there this year, GSTE.
Yeah,
it's going to be insane.
Which is awesome to get to meet some of these vendors up close and talk to them. I mean, not this year, the year before, I met John Holmes from Holmes Hobby. We were standing in line, getting something to eat, and he was behind me, and I turned around. He was so easy to talk to, and we just chatted for a few minutes.
He does a few classes there,
and I missed it. And hopefully, I don't.
So freaking smart, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
But what goes through that guy's mind is like crazy,
Yep, absolutely.
But sometimes he just does get so technical. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Talking about the thickness of the copper wire going to run in a reel and everything. It's like, okay, if you say so, John. But
yep,
what a
exactly.
knowledgeable guy,
So.
One good thing I did notice today, like changing my table around here, is just the side of my thing's actually magnetic, so I can keep the side of this tool tray, so I can keep actually tools on it and just pull them out.
Nice.
That was one cool thing with changing it from around.
All right. Well, we've passed the 2-hour mark. I asked all the questions I had. So, Sean, I appreciate you being on with us tonight and answering questions and showing your new top secret build for USTE. I look forward to seeing it. I will be at USTE in
Yeah,
2022, so I look forward to seeing these new builds. And
that's it. The only thing, it's not top secret anymore. So you know what that means? That means
there'll be another top secret build.
that means I might have to go and get something new.
Nice, and I look forward to seeing that then next year. And
Yeah,
I appreciate you being on. I appreciate you're always in the chat and stopping in, and appreciate that. And I also appreciate what you do with 11 Charlie. Taking care of the veterans and everything. That's awesome. Um, I really enjoy what y'all do. I've got to help out a little bit um, with that. This year we did something at Exo Cage's place earlier this year, and that was fun to hang out with some of the veterans and crawl. I got to meet some of them at USTE this year, which was really cool. So good things y'all are doing there. So keep it up. Hey, AZ. Yeah, you missed the top secret reveal, AZ.
Well, AC is actually one of the guys that knew what it was because
Okay.
he builds so many of these things that I actually reached out to him for advice.
Oh, I definitely. That would have been a good. I could see that. Obviously, he's got experience with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's a lot of experience with him, so I do reach out to him. I actually reached out to him jokingly the first time. It was like, hey, what do you think of this or that or something like that. But then he gives me really good advice because I was thinking of doing the doors with a diamond plate. Like testing out, I put one of the doors like so. Let me see.
Brad, we've been on just over 2 hours, 2 hours and 6 minutes actually. 9 p.m. Eastern, Saturday nights.
Let me see. This one, the one. This door was there. This door was there. So this door, so it's the way you have. So that's what I'm talking about. You have the doors that go on.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have the handles and everything. So I was thinking of doing that door. I done a mock up. I done it like diamond plate all over it. And then I sent it to AC for on the photo, and then he was like, "Hey, it looks good, but you would never actually have diamond plate in that location on one of them trucks because it would be like a reflective distraction to the truck on the road and stuff." And something
Now,
I
are
never
you
thought of, so
on those doors on those two rigs with the opening? Are you going to have stuff in there like
yeah,
equipment?
I'll have like on the tow truck. I'll probably put a load of chains and like I'll get
Awesome.
some. I'll get some slings and stuff like that. Like I'll put
Yep.
slings and everything in it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I will do stuff for it, and it's just. But so he's like one of the ones I reach out. Him and Green Frog are the two people I reach out to, like go back
Very
and
knowledgeable,
forth
both
stuff
of them.
and do it.
So
So,
definitely.
I run things on, especially when it comes to Tamiya trucks, because Brett's got some freaking. He's building a monster at the minute. The thing is sick. The size that thing is like. So,
Nice. But yeah, Brad, or not Brad. Oh, I got Brad on the brain now. Sean, if you want to say anything to everybody before we close out, I'll let you. Again, thanks for being on with us. I've enjoyed it. So thanks for being with us.
yeah, Brad was. I thought I'd see it in the sub. So, Brad, it was your fault. My top secret build is not top secret anymore. So, I actually just showed it off as earlier on to show everybody what it was. Because whatever happens behind the scenes stays behind the scenes, Brad, just in future. So, I know now to show that. I probably am going to have to get something else different. I don't know. I'll see. I just don't have time. That's the thing. Like, I got to finish this 6x6. There's a lot of work still to do to finish that. I haven't even started building the rig under my desk. I'm still building the trailer. I still got a ton of work to do on that tow truck. They talked about the grasshopper tonight, Brad. You missed it. We did, Brad, actually. Yep. You missed
Yep.
it. What did Lauren say out loud? Oops, I said it out loud.
Come on at 8, Brad.
Uh, yeah.
But no, everybody in the chat, thank you. Thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it. And every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Next Saturday will be open panel, so we'll just talk some general RC. Might actually do a what's under the shirt, possibly, and maybe give away some of our new RC conference logo stickers that I got this week, thanks to BBY Autographics for getting these out. So I have limited run of them.
Pretty cool one, Keegan design.
Yep. Green Frog designed them, and BBY Brian cut them out for me. So we have a small run. Actually, have a couple, only two that are special colors that he did. So orange and a sort of, I don't know what kind of green that is. So
I like that orange one too.
Yeah, that orange, you like that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I have one of the orange and one of the whatever that color is. I'm not really sure what it is.
I actually have up in that corner of my desk. If my overhead camera would work on this, I actually have the RC Biker Boy sticker right there.
Nice.
I never even saw it. JHM, when I was with you at CMON, I never even thought of giving you any stickers.
I know.
Because I had them in my bag too. Like I never even thought about it. In my backpack there was an envelope.
I always have stickers with me too, and I'm bad about myself giving stickers out.
Yeah, because even at Axial Fest, I had them with me at Axial Fest. I don't think I gave a single person one. Like I just keep forgetting. It's like the video one. Like you see how the 2 hours went past tonight, and there was no problem with me talking.
Yeah.
It's one thing. I'm good at. I've got the gift of the gab, so I can talk. I can talk to anybody that wants to listen.
It's been great. I've enjoyed it. Learned a few more things. And Brad, I would never say never with that. So, but again, Sean, I appreciate it. I know, long as nothing else goes crazy in the world, we should hopefully see each other at USTE next year.
Absolutely.
It isn't getting too far away, honestly. It'll be here before we know it.
It's not, and that's why I'm saying, I've got so much. February is going to be here before you even know it. And that 6x6 is halfway done. It's actually a running chassis, so at least it's running, but all the winches have to be done, the tow arms have to be done. There's so much work to do. That tow truck is still all the work to do in that. The one on my desk, the trailer this is how far the trailer is along so far. So there's still a lot of painting to do, a lot of building to do. So I don't even know if I'm going to have time to do anything else. Unless I do, if you look over there, if I move the controller, there actually is some boxes over there. Right?
Wow.
So, but what's in them boxes? Running around the roads and nobody knows.
But so yeah, next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, be normal chat, open panel for anybody who wants to get on. And we will likely do maybe 2 what's under the shirts. I might have one as well as RC Basher Boy. And for whoever guesses right, they will get one of our new stickers sent out to them free of charge. So, all right, guys. Sean, again, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Ours, actually, really quickly, RC Master, your logo would be really easy to design. What you should actually have as your logo is a big blue wrench. Because you're probably the biggest moderator on YouTube. They just have a big blue wrench.
Yeah, definitely reach out to Green Frog. He's good at it. So
definitely. So everybody in the chat, thank you very much for taking the time to come by. John, I really appreciate the invite and the insight. Yeah. So I know I didn't show off any rigs tonight or anything so always feel free to reach out if you need a guest or anything. Like as I said, I'll talk.
Yeah, we can always do a spotlight, a show and tell with you at a later date where we can go through some of your rigs. Maybe we'll wait until you've finished building some of your newest builds and then do it so we can show some of those nice things off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, guys, thanks again. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Do some RC stuff and enjoy yourselves.
Peace out, everybody.